Hey, I'm Victor Lucas. This is Johnny Millennium. Welcome to Film Fury. And boy, have we got a movie to talk about today, don't we, buddy? This is Transformers: The Last Night, directed by Michael Bay, starring Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Hopkins, and a cast of thousands of actors. Stanley Tucci has a role in this damn thing.
John Goodwin, yeah.
John Goodman's in there,
yeah.
yes. Lots and lots of voices and actors. John Turturro is in this thing. There's a British Megan Fox who's in this thing now.
Yeah, she's a nice-looking girl.
Yeah.
That's about it.
She honestly, it's scary how much she looks like Megan Fox, and but she has the British
They've
accent.
cloned her, exactly.
Yeah, this was like 50,000 movies crammed into one. It's like they said, Michael Bay, we want you to Michael Bay as much as you possibly can until you drive everybody insane.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
I'm kind of silent here on purpose. My brain has officially melted. Honestly, I was slipping further and further down the seat until the end. I was like, I can't take any more Michael Bay. I can't take any more. I want to finger the screen. I was angry. But you know, we knew this going in.
Well, the trailers were so bad. You said it before the movie. When you have a trailer that's that bad, because the trailers, I don't know if
horrible.
everybody knows this, but the trailers are supposed to be like the best parts of a movie. They're supposed to kind of show the make-believe movie that every movie is. But the trailers for Transformers: The Last Night all make this movie look like utter dog shit.
I remember we'd be seeing other movies and we'd see the trailer and we're
Yes.
like, oh no, we got to see this movie. And we walked in and yes, 2 hours and a half.
2.5 hours of total nonsense. We're fighting alongside King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. We get to see Bumblebee shoot at a bunch of Nazis. We go from Earth to Cybertron. Cybertron is like just some weird kind of, what are those Japanese trees, like those bonsai trees?
Yeah, it's turned into that.
Yeah, it's just like bonsai trees are just sprouting out of Cybertron, and Cybertron comes close to the Earth, and the bonsai trees scrape the Earth and destroy the pyramids.
Yeah, of course it does,
Yeah.
and with huge explosions and slow motion, and that sound.
That was in the first 3 minutes of the movie.
That was in the first 3 minutes,
Yeah,
so we knew exactly what we were gonna get.
Before we knew who any of the new characters were, or like there's this young woman, this girl that's just this renegade rebel. She's always got her hair in front of her eyes. That's how you know she's a renegade rebel. She's ready to take on any robot any size, running right at all kinds of carnage. But she's just shooting things and blowing things up, and then Mark Wahlberg appears and he just starts shooting and blowing things up. I mean, you're like, what's happening? Who are these kids? Who is this renegade rebel kid? Who are these robots that are dead and dying? And it plays like that for literally the first hour 45 minutes.
I thought it was a full 2.5 hours of absolute garbage.
It is gobbledygook all the way through for sure, but I think what they've done, because it is as many cast members, as many actors and performers that exist in this film, there are that many writers as well. And like they're trying to create this whole Hasbro mega universe thing.
Yeah, explaining the Transformers all throughout history. They've always been there and explaining every single thing.
Because the dinosaurs are in this one.
The dinosaurs are there. No, but what we have to get to,
But I think they crammed all this junk into it's like so much expository, BS story stuff.
Gobbledygook.
But by the end of it, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're just trying to kill that woman, and they got a staff they got to get.
Yeah, I know. We're not rooting anything.
I started to get what the thing was about at the end, but it took like there's this little small angry little robot thing. Actually, what was his
I don't know his fucking name. I don't care.
Cogman. I actually liked the character. He was pretty cool.
Oh, you know why? Because he reminded you of Wall-E. That's why.
Well,
when you think about it, he's a very Wall-E character.
He was like a caustic C-3PO. Yeah. He's just calling everybody bitches and stuff like that.
Stupid,
and, there was a lot of that. There's a bit of an angriness to this thing where, characters are yelling and telling everybody they're a bitch.
Shut up, bitch!
Or
fat
bastards.
Just so dumb.
And it is kind of this nasty, out-of-date kind of tone all the way through, which is the Michael Bay seal of approval. But nobody does this other than him.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, he's the last person standing trying to make this cacophony make sense for us.
But the real thing we have to talk about here, this movie is not for us. It's for my nephew, who's 8 years old, who loves Transformers. What we have to talk about is who hated this movie more. That's the real interesting thing and debate, because we both hated it equally. There's nothing interesting in talking about. The story's convoluted. It's like every other Transformers movie we've ever seen.
Yeah.
The only interesting argument is who hated it more.
Well, here's what I do like about the Mark Wahlberg era of Transformers movies. They have more colors on them, so I can tell who's who a little bit easier. That's it.
What is that saying? That's just saying anything. That's what my 8-year-old nephew would say. He's like, Optimus Prime.
Well, because they all have like a Stanley Tucci, Steve Buscemi, John Goodman. Everybody's like from Chicago or New York.
I know.
And they're all
talking
street
rap
tough.
talking. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know who's who when they're talking. And the other thing is, too, that there's so much coverage. There's so many shots because we all know Michael Bay doesn't like to keep the camera still for one moment. So he just keeps shooting and shooting and shooting. And so a lot of times we have dialogue that's not framed to the voice, or it's off camera completely, or it's meant to be out of sync because we are now going back into a flashback sequence. So, and there are so many characters in this thing. There are like, it just is a sea of human characters, which are unnecessary, and then so many robot and Transformer and Cybertron. What are the bad guys called?
Decepticons?
Decepticons. I'm sorry.
He's not a Transformers guy. This guy.
I like the Transformer concept, but I'm not a diehard. Okay, but there's so many robots and so many humans that it is indecipherable.
There's no need, and that's the thing. This should have been like an '80s style movie. This is how you fix the Transformers. It doesn't need to be 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Make it an hour and a half. Tell a really good story. Get us in touch with the characters. Let us fall in love. Let us feel something.
The Transformers.
Yeah.
Not the humans. Why is Josh Duhamel
they
or
have to
whatever
make
his
you
name
involved
is?
in it. That's the only reason they're there.
You only put the humans in for the scale. We don't give a crap about any of them because they're just sort of dodging bullets and shrapnel from robots the entire movie. And there's no emotional hook at all in any of this. And we don't need as many of them. You know, like 1 or 2 sprinkled humans. But the robots are kind of cool. Like, they're fun to watch, and they
kind of, yeah.
I mean, they come together in interesting ways, and the cars are sexy.
But here's another big thing.
There's so many humans in this.
Yeah, there's too many. Okay, there's so many Transformers in this movie.
And that's
no, and that's not a problem you're talking about. There's too much stuff. This is too uploaded. There's no reason for any of the Transformers to ever transform anymore.
Yeah.
They can just fly in a spaceship to get somewhere.
I know.
They don't need to transform into a rocket ship or a fucking car or a plane or a train or whatever the hell.
So you screwed it up with your title right there. They don't need to transform.
Transformers. They don't need to transform. It should have been called. I mean, this is nothing new. This is the 5th Transformers movie.
What is Anthony Hopkins doing in this
He's
thing?
cashing a paycheck.
Well, I mean, honestly, let's have a sidebar here. Let's talk about actors that have made so much money and have really prestigious careers. We just watched Anthony Hopkins just kill it on the Westworld show, which was just amazing.
Good in that,
Amazing show. What is he doing? Tarnishing his reputation and his pedigree, and like, what is it with you actors? You know, I know you're all watching, you big super mega movie stars. You love Film Fury. You're watching our review right now.
Right.
This is what you've been waiting for. But seriously, you multi-millionaires, like, honestly, have a little bit of a modicum of integrity. When Michael Bay calls you on the Michael Bay phone and it starts beeping, don't answer that thing.
Commit suicide.
Yeah,
commit suicide.
There are other directors that could use you in some good stuff. Like, honestly, don't take the Michael Bay phone call. It might be money, but it's bad news, man.
We talked about it for a little second after the movie. I think he's doing it because he's older now. He wants to be relevant.
I've heard this guy. I love Anthony Hopkins.
Too.
He's amazing. I've heard him say he's quitting acting so many times over the last 10, 15 years. Why is he in a Transformers movie?
And why is this just a shit role?
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. The robot could have been him, right? Like, they didn't need him. They could have just been the robot butler guy.
Yeah, there's a robot butler in this,
They didn't need the other guy to be the butler for. The butler could have just, like, honestly, we could have fixed this. You and I could have. I don't even know anything about the Transformers. I could have written a better Transformer story.
Why does it have to be 2.5 hours? Like, this is a real question I have.
Honestly, I feel like Michael Bay is like, okay, I'm parachuting out of this thing. Yeah. This is my last big paycheck. I'm spending everything they got. And there are moments in this movie where it's like too expensive, so they just cut to a character talking about it.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, and because they honestly have spent so much money, like hats off to all the people, all the human beings that sacrificed all of that time
to build
every single stupid, exploding little piece of light flapping across the screen and a little bit of metal, and like how much work went into this movie.
Too much work.
It's so bloated and long and tiresome.
Why?
And
that's my big question. Why?
I feel like Michael Bay just says, screw you haters.
Michael bloated.
My movies make $1 billion every time I step up to bat. I'm doing this. and this is how I do it, and F all of you. And honestly,
fuck us, quite literally.
It just feels like we're slapped in the face by the pots
like Transformers dick.
This is the famous Roger Ebert quote, right? Like for Transformers 2, he said that it was like somebody went into the kitchen and just banged pots and pans together for 2 hours. And honestly, that's it. But now we have it with IMAX and 3D, and there's even more money thrown at this thing. I didn't look like there were repeated sort of action beats, like suddenly Optimus Prime understands how powerful he is, and he can just hack and slash through everything.
So stereotypically lame.
But we've seen that in like 4 of these movies.
I know, it's the same thing.
Right?
I am Optimus Prime. I'm here to do good.
Yeah, most of his dialogue is to like reinforce the fact that he is Optimus Prime. It's like he forgot.
I know. He's like, I am Optimus Prime. Remember, I'm Optimus Prime, and I can fix this.
Wait a minute. I'm Optimus Prime.
And I'm leaving this world. I'm coming back to this world. I got powers.
Wait, I have a sword. I'm Optimus Prime. I have a sword.
And I won't say, remember, there's another character we won't say who gets a sword, and you're like, give me a break. Yeah. The whole Excalibur crap in this movie, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
We have to end this review.
Oh, you know what, though?
Come on.
We do have to end this review.
This is horrible. I don't even like talking about this movie.
No, it's just like a melange of everything that Michael Bay has ever wanted to make, and then he put robots in it.
This review should be 2.5 hours long.
No, we should just keep
on going.
We should have live streamed this review.
Forever. For all eternity. We can rant about how terrible this movie is.
Oh, my God. All right. What are you going to give Transformers The Last Night? Do it. Be merciless.
A 2 out of 10.
A 2. All right. I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I kind of like the colored robots.
I can't stand it because it ruined Transformers, the G1 series.
I know. It'll be okay, baby.